In the neon-lit heart of Las Vegas, the atmosphere felt electric, alive with expectation, thick with tension, and humming with the sound of thousands of fans ready to witness a battle of pride, power, and destiny. Under the bright spotlights, the air shimmered as cameras panned across the arena, capturing anticipation in every eye. Tonight wasn't just about belts. It was about proving heart, grit, and the soul of a fighter. Lucas Martin Matthysse, of Argentina, a destroyer with dynamite in both hands, stood across from the undefeated Nigerian warrior, Ajose Olusegun. Fast, fearless, and full of belief. In their walkouts, you could feel their stories pouring through every step. Matthysse, hardened by losses to Judah and Alexander, now sharpened by experience and vengeance. Olusegun, the Nigerian army instructor, undefeated, unbroken, chasing not just a title, but a legacy for himself and for his nation. The referee delivered final instructions, reminding them of respect, rules, and protection. But when they touched gloves, you could sense that all words had vanished into the air. This wasn't just a fight. This was a collision of wills, one forged in thunder, the other in storm. The bell echoed, and war began. The opening rounds were calculated chaos. Ajose came in light, nimble on his feet, popping quick combinations, showcasing hand speed and movement. But Matthysse, calm, stalking, confident, walked forward methodically, testing range, studying rhythm, waiting for the perfect window to unleash his signature fire. In these early exchanges, Ajose landed sharp uppercuts, showing courage and agility, sliding in and out, but he also started making a dangerous mistake, standing too long in the pocket with a puncher like Lucas. The commentators sensed the danger, warning of Matthysse's thunderous power and his habit of finding ways through any guard. Soon enough, the Argentine began digging hard shots to the body, snapping Ajose's back, forcing him to respect every inch of space. A double left hook from Matthysse sent murmurs through the crowd. Though Ajose stayed upright, it was clear those shots echoed through his bones. He fired back, exchanging fiercely, proving he wasn't intimidated, throwing 3-punch combinations that landed clean. But even then, the crowd could see the difference. Ajose's punches looked quick. Matthysse's punches looked devastating. By round 4, the rhythm had changed. Matthysse had adjusted. He wasn't chasing Ajose anymore. He was cutting off the ring, cornering him like a matador pushing a bull toward the barricade. Ajose opened strong, throwing flurries, even forcing Matthysse to shell up briefly. But Lucas, you could see the fatigue setting in early for Ajose. Those hard body blows were draining him. Meanwhile, Matthysse, a true predator, was just warming up. At mid-round, Matthysse tore in with a savage combination, left to the body, right upstairs, then another left hook that snapped Ajose's head sideways. The crowd gasped. Ajose stumbled, but stood tall, blinking, steadying himself with fierce pride. He wouldn't go down from just one shot. Not tonight. He punched back, courage defying pain, but now Matthysse had tasted vulnerability. He had seen what he needed to see, and now he began to hunt. Rounds 5 through 7 transformed from boxing into thunderous warfare. Ajose was no longer dancing. He was standing his ground, firing desperate combinations, willing himself through sheer grit. For every punch he threw, Matthysse answered with 2, heavy, accurate, and destructive. The crowd roared with every exchange. Ajose boxed beautifully at moments, slipping shots and piercing through with straight rights. But Matthysse kept landing the crueler blows, uppercuts, counter right hands, hooks that thudded like axe strikes. Twice Ajose tripped, partly from tangled feet, partly from exhaustion, but not from punch-rolled knockdowns. The commentators called him one of the toughest they'd ever seen. The remarkable thing wasn't that he was still standing. It was that he was still fighting back, smiling through shots, pushing forward with Nigerian pride. But Matthysse, relentless, felt momentum. Every round, his punches sounded heavier, his footwork more confident, his aura darker and more dangerous. He wasn't just winning, he was grinding Ajose down, methodically, mercilessly. By round 8, Ajose had entered deep waters, a place where only the genetically gifted, the iron-willed, or the desperate could survive. He was bruised, tired, swollen, but never mentally broken. He continued throwing triple right hooks, forcing Matthysse to respect his heart, even when his power was fading. And somehow, he still had moments. Sharp jabs, quick counters, sudden bursts of energy that made fans rise to their feet. But Matthysse had the answer for everything. His pressure mounted, his timing sharpened. The ring was shrinking for Ajose, his back more often drowning against the ropes. Every clinch felt like an escape from danger, every breath harder to catch. Matthysse kept digging to the ribs, the Argentine special, over and over, knowing that once the body goes, the mind follows. Ajose winced, staggered, but he still punched back. The heart of a warrior never negotiated safety. It only negotiated courage. Round 9 was pure grit versus pure power. Ajose opened strong, landing crisp combinations, momentarily stunning Matthysse. The Nigerian crowd roared with hope. The commentators said, "He's not just here to survive, he's here to win." But Matthysse, unshaken, went right back into the fire, throwing bombs with a savage calmness. He wasn't emotional, he was clinical. And now, he was angry. His right hand began to land with terrifying consistency. Each connection snapped Ajose's head back violently, like a flag whipping in a storm. The left hook, Matthisse's signature, kept pounding the body, then whipping upward into the skull. Every shot that landed felt like a verdict. Still impossibly, Ajose fired back, weary, wobbly, but with everything he had left. Not because he thought he'd win, but because that's what real fighters do. Survive? Yes. Fight? Absolutely. Quit? Never. The 10th round would become the final chapter in this war. There were no strategies now, no setups, just survival, will, and fate. Matthysse, smelling blood, emerged like a storm cloud, cold, heavy, and inevitable. He began to land monstrous combinations, left hook to the body, right hand upstairs, double, left hook, straight right again. Ajose's legs trembled under the barrage. His head snapped back like a bobblehead. His guard a fading memory. The crowd sensed the end. The arena shook with energy, knowing they were witnessing something unforgettable. 20 seconds left in the round. Matthysse cornered Ajose, planted his feet, and threw one last brutal combination, a savage right hand to the chin, and Ajose collapsed for the first time in his professional career. Not tripped, not tangled, dropped clean, painfully, definitively. He tried to get back up. His spirit said yes, but his body said no. The referee waved it off. It was over. Lucas Matthysse by technical knockout. As the final bell never came, the crowd erupted, a roaring tribute to courage and destruction. Matthysse, breathing heavily, arms raised, did not smile. He didn't celebrate wildly. For him, this was business, a mission. But he walked across to Ajose, placed an arm around him, and whispered respect. Because tonight, both men had earned something. Matthysse, the title, WBC Interim Super Lightweight Champion. Olusegun, respect from the world. When the announcer lifted the microphone, his voice boomed, winner by way of technical knockout, Lucas Martin Matthysse. But in truth, there were two victors, one by triumph, one by heart. And years later, fans would still talk about this night, not just because of the knockout, but because of the courage that refused to break. This wasn't just a fight. It was a story of power against resilience, of thunder against storm, and of two warriors leaving every ounce of themselves in the ring. And on that night in Las Vegas, Boxing reminded the world why it is the theater of the brave.